All right, so I'm doing a follow-up video, my last video about Athabasca. Um, as you can see, the price of oil, even since doing my the final oil countdown video, stuff's actually gone up like quite a bit. I was kind of surprised to see that the selects are at 47.41, which is good. That hasn't happened in a long time, so it's good to see that. Um, Crude, we're almost at, I think at some point it was at 58.6 or something. Like it was very, yeah, 58.70. So we were almost at $59 a barrel. And so with all this good news, taken into account, let's check out Athabasca. It's not even, we crested 40 today. And the last 5 days, it's been relatively, even though oil prices are going up. If we go to the 1 week here for crude, you can see like, where was that? February, we'll just say the 7th, right? Went from like 57.30. Now we're at 58. Like it's gone up $1, and really Athabasca has been flat. And this company starts to do really well at $60 $60 WTI with a $10 differential, and it looks like we're gonna get that because the selects are more. We're just saying more or less within $10. It's $1 off right now, so it's $11, but it's close enough. So this is really exciting. Like I'm really excited, and not only that, but on oilprice.com, this article came out, I think it was today. Yeah, it was today. They said there's a 10 million barrels per day supply gap between now. It says between now and 2025, there's going to be a 10 million barrels a day supply gap. That's a lot. And even Eric on his Twitter, he was talking about inventories are going down. Because you can see it's below the 5-year average. And the other one it was talking about, it fell 35% in a single week. So, and he asked a very good question, normalizing inventories by spring instead of summer. Or I think that's what he's trying to get at there. I think it's a real possibility. I really think that this could happen. And the oil prices, you could argue, sure, they're looking past COVID, but really COVID should be clearing up pretty soon. Like, we've got vaccines rolling, things should be opening up, demand is back, it's growing. Not what it was in North America a year ago, but it's getting there. We're close. Yeah, so looking forward, it's just really weird. Like I look at Athabasca, which is like, you can see it's gone up and it's whatever, but even on like it's still undervalued. Like oil's at $60 with a $10 differential. That hasn't really happened since like 2000. Like 2018 is when it would have happened last, I believe. But even at points in history where Athabasca was trading at a much higher level, like you can see where I have it pointed here at 98 cents, oil was below what it is now in terms of price and differentials. So I don't know what's happening. I just think people are very jitterish on oil, and a lot of the weed stocks right now are booming. Like personally, I felt kind of dumb about doing this, but I ended up selling. Well, dumb in a way, but I ended up selling my Fire and Flower, and yeah, like I literally sold it at, I think it was 80 cents. I sold right here, and it's now exploded. Just do the math real quick. So that represents a 61% jump in like pretty much a week, which is what I had with Athabasca because I had bought in that. I believe my average was 33.5. Sorry, it was 0.235. So it's about the same jump, but just unfortunate because I was like, I think I bought this stock originally when it was like, I think it was here or something, or it would have been here like 79 cents or something, or 83 cents, between that range. Um, so that's kind of interesting, and that's something I'm looking at too. But anyways, back to the oil. Um, yeah, I see this continually going up, and even, conditions in the past are much worse than they are now. There's going to be an actual supply crisis coming, or at least a supply reduction. Like, we're drawing on our inventories much faster than anticipated. And when that happens, I just see this booming like crazy. Um, I don't know to what point, but even if you go to Eric's Twitter, uh, he actually like a valuation for Athabasca oil. This was after I bought it, so it's kind of convenient that I bought it originally and then he did this. But he was saying here, so yeah, it's $60 oil with a $10 differential, which is pretty much happening right now. It should be worth, we'll call it 90 cents a dollar ish. And this isn't even the point where oil is going to start to boom. Like, we're just kind of at the beginning. So what if it goes to 70 oil? You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't. It's very interesting. I guess you can see where this is going. You can see where the oil stocks could go, and other things like fire and flour, you don't really know where they're going, because I just don't understand. Like, I don't know. This stock was like dead 2 weeks ago, and now it's like, but anyways, yeah, it's exploded. Um, but anyways, it'll be interesting. Oil keeps going up every day; it goes up pretty much, and I'm just going to be waiting. I don't see myself doing any trades per se right now. Ultimately, my goal is I want to cap out at Athabasca. I'd like to do it at $2, but even $1.60 would be good. But if it was somehow to explode past $2, that'd be fantastic. But I would just do that. I would sell it, and then I would dump it into some other oil stock, because there's a lot of other oil names that are still undervalued. Like, I think Suncor is only like $23. Like, to me, that's just ridiculous. Oops. Yeah, it's only $23. One I looked at Vermillion briefly, but Eric talked about this really good on his podcast he did, or the Market Watch he did yesterday. This company has a lot of debt, so for them to deleverage like by themselves without, I guess, selling assets is pretty hard. Like, their free cash flow alone may not be enough to get rid of their debt. But people look at this and they go, "Oh crap! Look, it used to be $21 a year ago." That is true. However, and this is something that I would like to point out to people, Athabasca oil versus Vermillion, because I had been telling people that this is a better pick over the two. Athabasca's super high torque to oil. I think it's the highest torque, or one of the highest. So they can deleverage like pretty much instantly. Like, they're not really an issue. I think, again, Eric had it on his Twitter. Yeah, Athabasca. So this is at $70. I think $10 differential. Yeah. So they can pretty much buy all their shares in debt in 2 years, right? It would take Vermillion 5.6 years. That's way, like, I think 5.5 years of 70 is way too optimistic. That'll never happen. But Athabasca could easily do it. Like, 2 years, that does not seem unreasonable. And even he did one for $60 oil. Yeah. Yeah, $60 oil. Athabasca is 3.5. We'll call it 3.5 years. And yeah, Vermillion's almost 9 years. So that's the risk you're taking. They would probably have to sell some kind of asset or something. But looking forward, as the price of oil increases, Athabasca can deleverage so fast that it makes it a super compelling investment compared to things like Vermillion, where they cannot do that. They are not going to be able to deleverage nearly as quickly. And on topics of more, I guess, blue chip stocks, there's Interpipeline. This is something that I really want to buy. I owned it, like, I bought here at 12. I don't know where I bought it. It was like 12.20 or something. Then I sold it at, I think, 13.20. And I bought Athabasca. But this is something I would come back to. This is once they get their Heartland Petrochemical online. This is something that to me is very appealing. And this is something that I want to buy into later on. I'm kind of just trying to show the different ways you could approach the oil rise right now. People don't talk about Interpipeline. It's a really good stock. I don't. There's not really an issue. Like obviously, at some point they dipped, but they're creating real value with their new facility. They never should have dropped what they did. Like I think the fact that they dropped to $7 is kind of an insult, considering the fact they never actually lost any money during COVID. And these pipeline companies, a lot of them are doing pretty good. So I don't. There shouldn't be a problem. Suncor is good. I'll also probably buy that. Um, yeah, Vermillion, like it's. I looked at it. The other thing too is like I've been to Vermillion or like I've been near Vermillion. Like there's nothing there. It's not exactly a glamorous area. So like whenever I think Vermillion Energy, I don't think, uh, you know, that kind of thing. But obviously they're not only based in Vermillion, but there's just a stigma behind the name, I guess, for me. Uh, so yeah, um, good play. I think they have international assets, a lot of oil, ocean rigs or something like that. I think that's what they're called. But anyways, yeah, they'll probably be fine. Like to see them go back to $20, I don't like with oil going up. I don't see that being an issue, but their debt is an issue. That's the problem. They cannot delever, so that's the main concern there. Interpipeline's great. They're building the Heartland Petrochemical. Suncor is great. They now own Syncrude. Um, what else? IMO is pretty good too. And yeah, that's pretty much it. But just to finish off, um, oil's going up. Athabasca is a super high torque oil stock, and it's been mostly flat. Last week or so doesn't make any sense. I'm just gonna keep waiting. I'm gonna provide an update, and we'll see what happens. I might do more of these video recording style things in the future, but I'm not sure. The podcast ones are cool too. So, all right, see ya.